Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for March 22nd, 2024 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. Kim and I started out the morning at the Braddock Bay East Spit. Temperatures were below freezing and it was a little bit icy, especially around the edges of the bay. Some of the water had frozen. Here we are on the sandbar between the East Spit and the barrier island. You can see the lake out here, and it was a fairly calm morning with light winds and a good variety of ducks on the bay. And walking out, we saw this huge icicle hanging as like an extension to a branch, so Kim wanted me to take a photo of it. This bald eagle gave us a really nice look, and this is a juvenile, meaning one that was born last year, so we see that it has a brown head and a dark underside to the body, and we also see a lot of white in the wing pit areas here. If we look at the trailing edge of the wing, we see all of the feathers are the same length. As it starts to replace these wing feathers, the feathers that will grow in to replace them are slightly shorter. So in the 2- and 3-year-old bald eagles, we see kind of a ragged trailing edge to the wing with the longer retained juvenile feathers and the shorter ones that replace them. And in fact, if we look at the left wing of this bird, we see that there's some feathers that look like they're missing. So perhaps it's already begun to molt a few feathers. We had a total of 37 species from the East Spit. Next, we headed over to Braddock Bay Park to get a bit of a walk in. Again, you can see that some of the shallow water along the edges was beginning to freeze. There were some American robins feeding in the wet areas of the grass. Here we have one of the stripy sparrows. So if we look at the front here, we see it's kind of a brown streaking on top of a white base. And that's typical of song sparrows, which this is. And with raptors, a lot of times we say to get to know the red-tailed hawks really well, especially the shape, because that's what we compare other raptors to. For sparrows, it's really good to really know song sparrows. So when you see similar ones like Lincoln sparrow, you can compare them to that image of song sparrow in your mind. And speaking of sparrows, here's one that looks completely different. So here we have a large sparrow with a black head and black back, black tail with white outer tail feathers, some orange here to the sides and a white front, and just a little bit of white here on the wings. This is an eastern towhee, and this was the first one of the season. Here's another bird that can be a sign of spring. So here we see a blackbird. A couple things that we notice. First of all, it has a pale yellow eye, but it doesn't have the super long tail like we would see on common grackles. This is more of that typical smaller blackbird shape. And we see some rusty color here on the back and some tannish or yellowish color here to the front. So this is a rusty blackbird. Here's another look at the same bird. And rusty blackbirds are something that we only see during migration. And they're actually one of the most declining songbirds in America. They like to hang out in more swampy, wet areas. Here we have two large, dark raptors. You can see they're brown overall, but we do see a lot of white here in the underwing of this one. So these are two bald eagles that were chasing each other around. I started the Hawk Watch at 10, and it was an overcast morning with light to moderate southeasterly winds, temperatures below freezing, but I only got about 1 hour of the count in, during which I didn't see any migrating raptors, and then snow began to move in, and visibility greatly went down, and those snow showers were going to continue, and they're continuing as I record this video now, and then into the evening, we're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight. So not much of a hawk watch today, just 1 hour of counting and not a single migrant. Taking a look at the eBird report from Braddock Bay Park, we had 39 species. Taking a look at the hawk count report, today we had 0 migrants. So the March total remains 1,938, and the season total is 2,096. There was one new species for the season, which was eastern towhee. And taking a look at the forecast, looking like 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight, but that should be done by the time we reach the count tomorrow. Looking cloudy with a high around 36 and moderate to strong northerly winds, so would not expect much migration. For Sunday, partly cloudy with temps in the low to mid 30s and north-northeast winds, again only light migration. And for Monday, looking mostly sunny with warmer temperatures, high around 44, and easterly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, so not a very good wind there either, would only expect light migration. Well, it's looking like a few more slow days coming up, but as we get into midweek, keep an eye on Wednesday. It's looking like there could be southwesterly winds for Wednesday, although maybe a chance of rain as well, but Might be the best shot we have at some migration coming up. So everyone, stay warm, stay safe, enjoy the snow, and I'll see you out sometime soon at the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. From Lyco Birds, this is David Brown. Thanks for watching.